Here are 7 Power Ranger teams you may have never heard about. Solar Rangers. One of the consequences of the Shattered Grid story arc is the stranding of a motley crew of Power Rangers from various teams in a dimension that is seemingly devoid of Morphin Grid energy. As a result, every time each Ranger morphs, they risk running out of power. Thus, they have to balance the need to use their abilities with their own survival. Eventually, the roster would dwindle down to Andros, the Red Space Ranger, Tanya, the Yellow Zeo Ranger, Mike, the Magna Defender, Cam, the Green Samurai Ranger, Heckle, who has become the Dark Ranger, as teased in Dino Charge, and a variant of Kimberly, who is the Ranger Slayer from Drakkon's dimension. As circumstances grow more dire, the survivors encounter a mysterious new Purple Ranger, who wields an artifact called the Solarix that is capable of absorbing Morphin Grid energy. While the two sides clash over the few reserves of power, they would soon find that the real threat is a rogue Morphin Master, known as the Praetor. Only by uniting as a group and using the power of the Solarix to become a new team of Solar Rangers are the Stranded able to find a planet made out of Zeo crystals, defeat the Praetor and his army, restore the dimension's link to the Morphin Grid, and find a way back home. Dark Rangers. When Lord Zedd returns from a short stint in the space dumpster, he comes up with perhaps his most effective plan to destroy the Power Rangers. Using the green Chaos Crystal, Zedd successfully tricks the Rangers into powering it up by sending a monster called Psycho Slug down to Earth. Once the Rangers destroy this monster with the Power Blaster, the Emperor of Evil retrieves the crystal that was buried deep inside the monster's body. By absorbing from the Power Blaster, Zedd now has enough energy to bestow the Dark Ranger powers upon his henchmen. His advisor, Babu, becomes Dark Ranger Black. His bony wings are transformed into lethal appendages. At the same time, the monster creator Finster is now Dark Ranger Pink, his artistic hands now bruising claws. Meanwhile, the bumbling squat morphs into Dark Ranger Blue, his suit dotted with dangerous spikes. And the warrior Goldar ascends to Dark Ranger Yellow, his golden armor more protective than ever. To lead them, a special batch of putty is used to create a homunculus of Rita Repulsa. She evolves into Dark Ranger Red, replete with Rita's magic but wholly loyal to Lord Zedd. When this new Dark Ranger team is sent to Earth, along with their animalistic Terrazords, Zedd's dream of destroying Tommy and the Power Rangers almost becomes true. But the appearance of a new Green Ranger results in the shattering of the Chaos Crystal, and the loss of their power source spells the end of the powerful Dark Rangers. Power Rangers are only able to survive multiple crises because they are a team. In the same way, you can help this channel be sustainable and continue to create videos about the Power Rangers comics and beyond by becoming a member. As a member of the channel, you get your member name featured in long-form videos like this one, and you get to see them before everyone else. In addition, there are Q&A sessions where I will answer selected questions about the channel, my process, or anything else you may have wondered about. Thank you all for the support you've shown Morphin Shorts so far by watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing. And now, back to the video. Mighty Mutant Power Rangers. In the second Ninja Turtles crossover, Rita has teamed up with Krang and leads his army in an invasion of Earth. At the same time, the Power Rangers once again find themselves locked out of their regular powers in the face of a daunting threat. It is at that moment that Billy and Donatello reveal their experiments with mutagen and the power coins and suggest a truly audacious idea. Instead of trying to morph, what if they tried to mutate? Leaping into action, the Rangers teleport into Angel Grove and declare that it's mutating time. Each Ranger then become humanoid mutants based upon their power animals, gaining their strength and abilities at the same time. Although they initially struggle with the physicality and agility of their new forms, the arrival and guidance of Master Splinter helps the Rangers adjust. He instructs them to stop fighting like humans and start relying on their now animal instincts, to lean into their newfound attributes. As a result, the Rangers' ferocity and effectiveness in battle increase. The Mutant Rangers are then instrumental in defeating Krang, who has managed to steal, upgrade, and pilot the Dino Megazord. The aftermath sees the Rangers regaining their morphing powers, but they are all sad at the prospect of not mutating anymore. Or maybe Supersonic Rangers. Not every Super Sentai in Japan was adapted for the Power Rangers series, so Boom Studios used the comics as an opportunity to do so, and also created a new Psycho Ranger at the same time. Trek is an alien 6th Ranger for the Supersonic Power Rangers on the planet Zybria. Ace, the Supersonic Red Ranger and the leader of the team, is a seer that can predict the future, a skill that he uses to plan out battles and rescue missions. Ace claims that the Supersonic Green Ranger never factors into these visions, and thus including him would jeopardize mission success. As a result, Trek is consistently sidelined, which fuels his anger, bitterness, and feelings of superiority. In addition, Trek is also madly in love with Star, the Supersonic Pink Ranger, who rejects his advances. On one such mission, a bomb goes off, killing most of the team. As the dust clouds settle, it is revealed that Trek planted the bomb and prevented Ace from foreseeing the consequences using a psychic trap that projected false images to those susceptible. He then travels to the home of Dark Spectre, who had seduced Trek over to his side by stoking the Ranger's rage. In helping the forces of evil develop the psychic trap using his supersonic morpher, Trek had passed the test, and as a reward, Dark Spectre grants him evil power, creating the first Psycho Ranger. He is then sent on a mission to retrieve the Dragon Power Coin that Rita Repulsa held in her possession in the space dumpster. Ranger Sentries. What if you had your own army of Power Rangers? The comics introduced their first major villain in Lord Drakkon, a variant of Tommy that decided to stay evil even after Rita's spell on him was broken. When he succeeds in defeating the Power Rangers and betrays Rita, he seizes most of the power coins. Fearing that individuals would seek to claim their awesome power, Drakkon instead divides the coin's might amongst his most loyal subjects, turning them into Ranger Sentries. While Billy's coin remains hidden, the Black Power Coin creates Mastodon Sentries, who make up the foot soldiers of Drakkon's army. Armed with assault rifles, they are the first line of offense used against the coinless insurgency. The Yellow Power Coin powers the Saber-Tooth Sentries, who are the lieutenants that command the battalions. The Pink Power Coin is originally used for Drakkon's sniper divisions. The Pterodactyl Sentries are shrouded in both light armor and a cape. They wield devastating long-range rifles to pick off enemy combatants and civilians alike. When Drakkon creates the Ranger Slayer by enslaving Kimberly Hart with the same magic used by Rita, the Pterodactyl Sentries are decommissioned of their perverted pink Ranger powers in favor of the new Dark Assassin. Jason's Red Power Coin crafts the Tyrannosaurus Sentries, who wield double-ended pikes similar in design to the Power Sword and serve as Drakkon's elite guard. When Drakkon raids other Ranger timelines for their morphers in the Shattered Grid Crisis, he adds some of their abilities to his army, creating more wild varieties of Ranger Sentries. Omega Rangers. The departures of Jason, Zach, and Trini is a major turning point in the TV series. The comics takes that event and turns it on its head, tying it into the fallout from Shattered Grid, kickstarting Tommy's return as the White Ranger, and introducing a new faction of Power Rangers at the same time. As a result of the end of Shattered Grid, reality is restored, but like a broken pane of glass, it was not perfectly mended. Morphin Grid energy leaks out, finds random hosts all across the galaxy, and creates beings that rival the Rangers' power, including some who would wish to use that power for personal gain. Thus, the Blue Emissary, an ambassador of the Morphin Grid, is tasked with solving this problem. They approach Jason, restore his memories of the Shattered Grid Crisis, and ask him to lead this mission. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Jason agrees, but only on the condition that his team's full fighting ability is restored. Therefore, the Blue Emissary reveals to Zordon the existence of the White Light, and upon Tommy's successful retrieval, the iconic White Ranger is born. At the same time, Trini and Zach both join Jason's side mission, after noticing his suspicious actions. After their first mission in space, the trio realize that they cannot do this and be Earth's protectors at the same time. By using the Peace Conference as a cover, they resign and are bestowed new abilities by the Blue Emissary, becoming the ancient Omega Rangers. However, their important mission would soon send them on a course that pits them against Zordon and their friends. Dimension X Rangers. In the second Ninja Turtles crossover, the Turtles find themselves traveling into Dimension X alongside the unlikeliest of allies, the Shredder. Journeying across the war-torn world, they get a glimpse of the potential future of Earth if Krang succeeds in conquering their home. Soon, the group reach the Technodrome and infiltrate the spherical war machine. Inside, Michelangelo stumbles upon broken morphers, confirming that Dimension X used to have Power Rangers of their own. When they realize that Rita Repulsa had set up an ambush for them using recycled monsters like Pudgy Pig, Terrible Toad, Pumpkin Clapper, and others, the Dimension X morphers begin to glow. Excitedly, Donatello tells his brothers to each grab one and morph, using the appropriate phrase, "Power up, power extreme." With that, the Turtles become 90s-style extreme Power Rangers, with energy-based weapons similar to that of Casey Jones, who had become Ranger X earlier in the story. Returning to Earth, the Turtles complete their mission of finding a power node to help restore the command center, just in time for Rita to confront them with a brainwashed Casey. When the bond of friendship between the Turtles and Casey snaps Rita's spell, the Dimension X Rangers are able to team up to defeat the Space Witch. At the end of the story, Casey Jones and April O'Neil, now the Yellow Dimension X Ranger, are tasked by Zordon to return the morphers back to the citizens of Dimension X, helping to ensure that they have a fighting chance against the remnants of Krang's army. And that's 7 different Power Ranger teams that you may not have known about. Which of these teams are your favorite? For future videos like this, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more from Morphin Shorts.